Welcome, welcome. This is Own It. This is the Own It magazine and publishing companies in the house. I am super excited to be here with you this evening. I was focusing on the music, having a funky good time, dancing in the background. And we are here tonight to again continue our celebration of our book journal super success. We are the number one Amazon bestsellers in professional development. It's your life, own it unapologetically. And tonight I have with me a few of our contributing authors who are backstage. I'm going to bring them with me up front and center with me in a few minutes. But first, I want to talk to you about our upcoming conference. We're going to try our best to include you in and stream portions of the event live. But I tell you, you need to be here. It's April 26th through the 30th. We're going to be right here in the Dominican Republic. Yes, we are international, globalized, and all that other good stuff. And so we would love to have you here with us. Santo Domingo, Wandolio, Emotions. We are super excited. And so I want to share with you a little bit of what you can expect if you decide to join us. And you need to join us because you want to be here. You want to be fabulous. Here we go. Well, I want to share with you a little bit. Our authors signed up last year. This is an anthology, 57 authors, 57 compelling stories, and 57 messages and testimonies of victory. And these individuals decided, both men and women, so this anthology is not just about, women, it's about men and women. It's about really motivating ourselves behind beyond any challenge. And also inside the book, we didn't just write the stories. We wanted to tell you exactly how each one of us has overcome, ways that you can overcome. Maybe you read one of the stories and you can relate to the story, or maybe there's some information in the book that were not aware about: finances, your health, physical fitness and wellness, mental health and wellness. There are so many stories, varying and different experiences. And the authors don't just share their stories, they tell you how they overcame. And I want to take and bring with me, taking center stage and owning it with me is Eileen. Uh, Here we go. Eileen Hill. She is one of our first authors, and she is rooted and grounded. And I want to bring Eileen. You have been here with me the whole step of the way, with all of from day one, the first interview that we started. What compels you every time this opportunity comes up? What compels you to be committed to come back and share your story?
I believe it's definitely an investment. First of all, good evening to everyone on the platform. I wanted to make sure I shared this on my Facebook Live. So, hello, Facebook family and friends. I'm compelled with this because I believe not just my chapter, but the other authors who invested in their time, whether it's investments, finances, insurance, the list goes on, that we empower you, that you have to own it. My chapter, I didn't realize I was going to be the first off on the book, but the fact is that you have to be rooted and grounded based on I had a lucrative job position. It was great pay, but unfortunately the principal was not willing to be patient, and I could have fell into a despondency, but it took my pastor to encourage me, and he said these words: just be rooted and grounded. And that just took off, even me finding the scripture, because there's a scripture in Ephesians 3:17 said that Christ may dwell in your hearts by faith, that ye being rooted and grounded in love. And I had to be rooted and grounded in
Oh,
love, as much as it sting with what the principal had to do. But I guess I look at it as, you know what, you might have meant it for evil, but God meant it for good. My goal was to join the Toastmaster group, wasn't patient, but yet I persevere. I wanted to share that chapter, not just for my perspective, but whatever you need to be rooted and grounded in spirituality, financially, educational, physical. You have to be rooted and grounded, especially in the days and times that we're in. So when I was presented the opportunity, I could have thought of to write anything that I wanted to write, but somehow I just thought about think back of your job opportunity that was so lucrative because of course working in different employment agencies. Don't get me wrong, I love to work, whether it's an employment agency, a substitute agency, but to get a job at a school, of course, it makes more money, but then not to have it last as long as it should have. So I went right, I was like going right back to the employment agency where it's like, oh, this, you got to be kidding me. I mean, I really felt, depleted, despair to the point of almost depression. And that's where rooted and grounded. Cause my pastor was like, look, you know the word, you go to word church, just get yourself rooted and grounded. And it's like, that was a kick to me to
That
say,
was
you
that
know
was
what,
the key.
I should know better. But the fact is that I had to go back to the foundations, go back to, yes, I'm going to focus on Toastmasters, of course, focusing on my finances, continue to do what God has me to do. And that was the basis of me doing this chapter and going on this journey with you with the Own It anthology and all the authors who made a lot of contributions to help us, to help those who are in need of self-help and determination. Is like, once now you read the chapter, now you do the activity and the journal. Now, what's your next step?
What's your next step? What's your next step? That is incredible. And so we're gonna thank you, Eileen. We're gonna take you backstage, and we're gonna bring up tonight one by one, and then we're gonna come back together and have an open discussion about what's getting ready to take place here in April. So thank you so very much, Eileen. And next up we have Elaine Scales. How are you, Elaine?
Hello, beautiful. How are you?
I am so good. So good. I want
Oh,
to say what's going on in my head is that song. It's been a long time. I shouldn't have left you. How are you?
I am doing well, doing well. I'm just really glad and honored to be here. So this is, a part of an exciting journey that I hope a lot of people will partake in. So it's
Yes,
wonderful. Thank you.
awesome. And so, share a little bit about what you've written in your chapter without giving them all the bells and whistles. Just give them a little teaser to let them know exactly what you wrote in your chapter and where it came from.
Yeah, well, great. Well, thank you for that, this opportunity. It's funny, my chapter started out one way and ended up another. And I won't give a lot of the details, but the title of my chapter is Connect with Me. And
Mhm.
so it started out from a place of being lost, right? And so often we are focusing on one area of our lives, and that area really sort of grows and it blossoms and it becomes all that we want. But then we have neglected the other areas. And so
Mhm.
we get lost, right? So this whole journey is really about connecting connecting with me. Now, the word me is very powerful because you may start out with one me and end up with another me. You may start out with that me being my self centered self and end up with being the me being a very powerful spiritual godlike relationship. So where we start is going to be very different from where we end up, but we always have to start with the beginning, and that's just kind of connecting with me as you identify who me is. So
Yeah, that's so good in so many different ways. Because even for you, when you're mentioning me that now, I just said to someone, I'm not the woman I was when I came here last year. Then I'm
right.
not the woman I was even in January before when I got to the airport on January 15th, and the woman I am right now to come back here to the woman I am right now. There's something profound when you're paying attention to what's happening to you. And I can remember someone giving me a word and saying, you're multidimensional and you're
Yep.
multifaceted. And
Yep.
we're all that way. If we could just tap in, we're all
That's
that way. So I'm going to take you backstage and wait a little. I want the other
Okay.
authors. I got some authors coming in, so I want to share a
Absolutely.
little time with them. But connecting with me, and that's different than you yourself. Me is more, oh my God, that is so good. So audience, if you've heard that, say that, connecting with me, because there's something deeper there than I ever think I've felt, because I'm feeling that, and then I've ever, you know, thought about when you say you.
That's very
So
different.
yeah, because I always say she's the spa lady for the professionals. Next up with me, I have Dee Sands. I am so excited because her chapter, listen, you just need to listen to her because her chapter is on fire. Listen, Dee, you are taking to the stage and owning it with me. You've been getting fired up. Each time I bring you on, it's fire, 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 fire. More fire and more awake, awake, awake. You're telling the people to wake up. So go ahead and share with us your chapter. Say goodnight, say hello to the people, and then share a little bit of your chapter.
Hello, everyone. Yes, I am D Sands, and I am passionate, first of all, about the project that I am a part of, the Own It Anthology, and being a #1 author. Amazon, I mean, that is awesome. And this was the first project for me. So I am passionate about what my title is. I'm not the villain, says the life insurance agent. Because I mean, who wants to talk about life insurance? No one, right? As soon as you bring the topic up, no, yeah, no, I don't want to talk about that. Or that's something that I don't need. But actually, it's a priority. It's a priority for everyone. And if it's not, it should be. So my chapter talks about different experiences on those, a family that has life insurance versus one that doesn't. So my main thing is to educate others. I mean, even when I was offered this platform, I wasn't thinking about, where it can take me, even though it can take me to the next level, but I was thinking about as many people as I can to educate on the importance of having life insurance. It's not for you, it's for your family. Think about your loved ones. I mean, when you're not here anymore, especially the ones that depend on you for everything. I mean, I have grown up children and they still depend on me for things. And those are the things that, when something happens to me and I'm no longer here, they have to take on those responsibilities of their own. So, and I know we have a lot of parents out there that we're still taking up, they're our children, but being grown-ups, we still worry about them and we still take care of things for them, even though we shouldn't. But, sometimes, that's just us, that's being parents. But I truly want everyone to know it's not just purchasing your life insurance, but it's the importance of the things that you do once you have it. That
Yes,
family round table talk. I mean,
yes,
that is the key right there, the round table talk.
people
No
talk.
one wants to talk about that. I mean, you want the family to be peaceful. When something happens to you, they're not, tugging at each other. You want them to know, okay, this is what you should be doing. This is what you should be doing. So they can, be easy on it and everyone is in unity on what is supposed to be done. So I am so excited about this opportunity and as many people as that I can educate them on the importance and the priority of having life insurance. I just want you to know it.
Oh, awesome, awesome. Excellent chapter. And like I said, the books are one, the book is telling you the story. So the anthology is telling you the story, and it's also giving you an engaging activity so that you know exactly what she's talking about and you know what to do next. So they're not just sharing a story with you, but they're also giving you the information you need to rectify the challenge that you're having. And so we are filling up in the back. So I am actually going to bring all the authors in at this time, and let's have a general conversation about what's getting ready to happen next. What's next? We have a full house. My goodness, my goodness. But what I want to do really quickly, if I can, if technology will be my friend until the end, I want to show the people because the people are probably like, what are they talking about? What's going on? But we are Amazon's #1 bestsellers. There you
Woohoo!
It is the journey. It's book and the journal, and we are #1 bestsellers. Amazon. So that's the proof is in the pudding, honey. The proof is in the pudding. We did it. We did it. We did it. We worked hard, and we reaped the reward. And so I want a couple of the authors that haven't been on with us. Chef Diva is in the house. Chef Larkin is in the house. I want her to say a little hello. She hasn't been with us because she's been taking center stage and owning it all over the world, not all over the U.S., all over the world. So, Chef Larkin, can you share a little bit, give a teaser about your chapter and your experience with Own It?
Absolutely. First and foremost, good evening. How's everybody doing today on this sensational Sunday? Um, Chapter with and Own It is just basically going in depth of a lot of times we put on the facade, right? We put on the facade. We looking like $1 million. Like you can't tell us we ain't bad. We ain't got to, but that mindset with a food stamp. We got that food stamp mentality. Look like $1 million, right? And so I go into depth with that is just really down the journey that I have been on. Because again, I've always been that like good, important, being well groomed and looking kind of way that has always been important. However, I didn't always have that mindset because I didn't fully step in and rightfully own who I am and realize those terms of my capabilities and what I'm about. Because as Black women, we're taught to kind of water ourselves down. You can't, if you say too much, you bragging. Even though you just simply want to speak on accomplishments and things of that sort, but it's coming off braggadocious. But again, you got to also remember who you surround yourself with, who receives that, right? Circle.
Yeah.
So in my chapter, it just really goes into depth about mindset. Really, it's just that framework of adjusting that mindset, because once you adjust that mindset, you're going to start surrounding yourself with different people. You are going to start being able to really step into your own and just really step back like, wait a minute, I'm bad. What I'm doing all these years, I'm shortchanging myself. Like I'm really that chick. Like, but I'm sitting here again because of what we're conditioned to and what we've grown up listening to, and like I say, you can't say too much because if you do, oh, she thinks I am that. I am.
Right.
Deal with it. And again, those who really rock with me, those who know what I'm about, those who positively receive me, they know I'm lit too. So yeah, I'm gonna toot my own horn and say I'm lit. So that is basically what my chapter goes into. Of just really speaking that mindset journey of just adjusting that mindset. And yeah, you could look like, you could be labeled down and keep your hair done, you in the nail shop every 2 weeks or whatever the case may be. But what's that mindset hitting for? Like, what are we really thinking about in that mind? How high is that self-esteem? Because a lot of people really have low self-esteem. They don't realize it because, again, nobody wants to have that conversation when we start really getting deep, talking about that self-esteem, talking about those kind of things. Because, again, it's always looked at in that negativity of being insecure and stuff like that. But when you really break some stuff down and really look at some things on a different level, and once you get to the other side, really realize, wait a minute, I had some insecurities, but it's okay. As long as you own it and you work through it and not keep making the excuse to justify it. It's okay to realize these things long as you adjust it. So my chapter really just speaks on that journey of mindset, of where I've been in the mindset. Another thing, I do cordially apologize for just kind of not really being active. In my heart and in spirit, I have been there, but February, March is just always super, super busy for me. And it's been even more busier this year.
Explain what has been, because and you don't have to apologize. Like my good friend and sister friend always tells me, Elaine says, don't apologize. We already know because we can see you doing your thing. So anyone who in the sphere of the co-authors who actually see you online, because sometimes we get to see how our peers are doing out here. And so you've been doing amazing things. Golden Sachs Awards. You've been mentored by Golden Sachs. So you are doing there's a plethora of awards that you received, so much so that I couldn't even keep up with you in September.
Yeah.
And so we know that you are walking in your greatness, that you are owning it in your life, your career, your business. We also know that you're also mentoring young people, your son, helping him with what his vision is. And I know you have a niece. You are touching so many lives, so you don't ever have to apologize. We know you're already, listen, you submit your chapter, you submitted your journal, so we already know you're committed. So we want you to be out there doing the thing, doing the darn thing. You got to keep that momentum going, sis.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it's just one of those things. I be wanting to be pregnant, then I get the man like, dang it, I was
Yeah.
be on. But yeah, like it has just been a lot of great things. I had an article that was what actually I actually article is actually going to be dropped next week. Because again, those things of, I'm not the Bible beater, but I definitely have faith. I believe in God, and He has truly been my publicist. Like I have not reached out to one person. If anything, everybody is reaching out to me because it's one of those things of all the hard work and all the seeds that I've planted. It's here. Like this is the
Yeah.
season, and this is what it looks like. My birthday was last month. On my birthday, the ABC 13, that's the local ABC station here, they came and they interviewed me on my birthday. Then they ran the art.
Oh,
They ran the clip last week, or once they got it edited and everything, they ran it last week. It's so crazy because it's one of those things. If I'm a person, I'm minding my business. Like I'm literally like head focused, not worried, not really. I'm undistracted, just doing me. But so many people have a problem with what I'm doing. And it's so crazy because I was listening to Bishop Jakes, and he was saying that the haters think they could do it better than you, and that's really what it's come down to be. Because again, now with the comments that they say, all it is just a backdoor of all these opportunities. Like they in my
right.
DM, calling me, texting me, emailing me, just all these opportunities coming from total strangers again, because they see when they've kind of went back and looked at, and kind of done some research on me and see what I'm about and see what my brand is, and
Right.
work with the youth and how I'm doing all these things, because we're focused on Black Girl Tamales, but we're not going to focus on that retired me from teaching and getting out the classroom.
Right. Yeah.
We just focused on the fact of me being Black and I make tamales, but we're not focused on the fact that the same ones that have something to say, your kids, if you have kids of high school age, they look up to me and I mentor them, those same students. So we're not going to talk about me inspiring them and them
Right.
seeing my work come in fruition and like in their face, but we're not going to talk about that. We just focused on me can
Winning.
make a tamale. So it's just like it's a whole crazy movement, but
Yeah.
it's a lot of great things coming in, especially with this month as well. So I'm just happy to be here, that I was able to make it. And so when I seen it, I was like, okay, I have to log on today because I have not been
Yes,
on any
we're
of the
happy
live.
to have
So
you.
I am
We are
here.
so
Thank you so
happy.
much.
Yes, we are happy to have you. And so welcome,
So
welcome.
that's all. I'll be
Yeah,
thank you.
yeah, very excellent chapter. Like I said, she talked about, mindset. And so when you look across all of the authors, they're telling you there's a journey here. Mental health and wellness, BJ Martin, mental health and wellness, Elaine Scales, being rooted and grounded. And being rooted and grounded is getting connected with me, as Elaine was saying earlier. That's a part of being rooted and grounded. Checking in with yourself, making sure that when it's not okay, it's not okay, and that you have people to share it with. Just like Chef Larkin is saying, listen, there's haters out here, and we need to support each other. It's Women's History Month, and I say I'm not worried about it being Women's History Month. It's Women's Month. That's what I say. It's Women's Month, and it is for us to come together and celebrate one another, past, present, and future. And so that's what Own It is all about. Is that coming to a place of being healthy, whole, and being authentically yourself. I want to hear from Apostle Rainey. Then I want to hear from Dr. Natasha, and I am bringing in Miss Amina. She is in the house with us. I'm bringing her in, and then I want to hear from Amina. So Apostle, Dr. Pallard, and then BJ, and then Amina.
Good evening again, everyone. Especially to those that I have not had the opportunity to say hello. Good evening to the listening audience as well. It's always a pleasure when I have the opportunity to be able to join and connect with others. Y'all excuse my grandson in the background. I tried to keep it on mute, but now I gotta speak, so I gotta take it off mute, okay? But it is a blessing. It is a blessing. Some of you all, I have not had the opportunity to meet. Some of you, well, one of you, I know that I've shared with before, but I had not had the opportunity to see your face. But today I'm able to see your face, and that's you, Miss D, saying so. Hey, how you doing? How you doing? And thank you so much for your support. Once upon a time. But it was a blessing, and it still is a blessing to be a part of this anthology project. I'm always grateful whenever the Lord allows an opportunity for me to be able to do what I love to do, and that's to help others. You know, we're blessed to be a blessing, and whatever
Mm.
capacity that the Lord allows us to do that, we should be honored and just step into doing whatever it is that He assigns our hands to do. Because we never know the need for what we have, for what He's invested on the inside of us. And one thing that I've learned, without a voice, when you don't use your voice, it affects others. It affects others. That's not what my chapter about, but for some strange or reason that's coming up. Amen. But it affects others. It affects other people's lives. Amen. And so we have to utilize our voice. I met a lady about a month ago, and she says to me, she said, all of y'all just alike. And it confused me because I'm black and she black. So I'm trying to figure out, what is she referring to? Because that's what Caucasian, not being disrespectful, but just keeping it real. That's what Caucasian people say about us. All y'all just alike. So I was like, what are you talking about? Clarify. So she says to me, all y'all work together. And so if I share what was done to me, nobody's not going to believe me. So I said, well, why would you think that? She said, because all of y'all work together. And no matter what I say, nobody's going to believe me. I said, well, did you say it? And she said, no, because I felt like nobody would believe me. And then she says, you remember back in the day, she said, you remember back in the day when we as black people said something and the Caucasian people, you know what I'm saying? It was their word against ours. I said, back in the day, I said, we living in a different time now. I said, how do you know if anyone would not have believed you if you did not open your mouth and say something? And she stopped for a minute. And she stopped for a minute. And and she said,
Coming in.
she said, you know what? You telling the truth. And her eyes got full of water. And I said to her, I said, now you've shut me down. You've talked about me soon as I entered your home. I said, but I could have gotten up and walked out of your home and not said a word because of the way you were attacking me. I said, but no, I sat here and I listened to you and I let you say what you had to say. And she said, you know what? You telling the truth. So I said, you know what? A voice is so important. I said to her, your voice is so important. I said, because you chose not to say anything, guess what happens? This same particular person has left your home and went to other people's homes and did the same thing. I said, can you imagine how many people were affected because you chose not to open your mouth?
Right.
And it causes her to think. It caused her to think. But nevertheless, my chapter on the beauty of forgiveness. And it took me a minute to get to the place where I could truly, authentically forgive others. I don't know if any of you all have ever been to the point where it seemed like everybody does something to you. It seemed like no matter who you come in contact with, you're being hurt, you're being abused, you're being battered, you're being broken. No matter what, it does not matter. Like every time you turn around, something is being done or something is being said to you, and it causes you to shut down. It causes you to start feeling some kind of way in your heart, if we just want to tell the truth and keep it real. But over the years and over the year, oh, I'm fine like this, I'm cool like this, because one thing I said to the Lord, if I forgive them, that means I gotta like them, and I don't want to like them. But He says to me, in order to be pleasing in my sight, in order for you to make a difference in the lives of somebody else, you're gonna have to let that go. You're gonna
Yes.
have to come clean. You're gonna have to make a decision as my ambassador. You cannot walk around with hate and anger and bitterness and resentment in your heart toward others and think that you're gonna make a difference. And so I began to think about it. Still wasn't ready to let it go because it hurt. It was painful. And it just seemed like they just walk around him. They happy go lucky, but that's how it seemed in my eyes. I didn't know what their life was like when I didn't see them. All I know is what I saw with my natural eyes. And to me, it's like, oh, they living a good life. Oh, they done got away. Oh, this, oh, that. But I learned later on in life that they had control over my mental capacity. These people got control over my thoughts because all I'm doing every day is dwelling on what they did, what they said, how they did it. These are my thoughts. And so you're in bondage. You're in prison in your own mindset, reliving over and over and over. And all of a sudden one day I was like, you know what? I'm so tired of reliving these thoughts. I'm so tired of thinking about this. It is literally draining me. I don't have no peace. And one thing that I have learned, which I thought I would never say, I'd rather have peace. I'd rather have a peace of mind than anything. Because I used to say, if I ain't got no money, I don't know what I'm going to do. If I ain't got no telephone, I don't know how I'm going to make it. But I find out that, yeah, you'll still make it. You'll still able to keep on going. But without a peace of mind, without being able to sleep at night, you sitting up all night long, thinking about, oh, they did me like this. Oh, they did me like that. Oh, they said that. Oh, they said this. Oh, they didn't speak to me today. Wonder why. All night long, all night and all day, you're just consumed with what somebody has said or done. And so I had to make a conscious decision within myself. Do you want to live like this? Do you want to live like this the rest of your life? And so I found two scriptures that was sent to me by way of the Holy Spirit. And one of them was, when you stand praying, if you got anything in your heart against anybody, it doesn't matter who it is. It says forgive them. You want the Lord to forgive you.
Yes.
So we must forgive them. And it seemed like every time when somebody called, people still do stuff. And it's like every time that scripture come back to me, remember, when you stand before me praying, you want me to forgive you, so forgive them. And that's in Mark 11 and 25. Then it goes over to Matthew 18, 21 and 22. Here comes Peter. Lord, how often my brother sin against me? Here come Peter with the answer. 7 times. Jesus, no. 7 times 7. That's 490 times. So what he's saying, every time somebody do something, forgive them. Every time somebody do something, forgive them. Every time somebody do something, forgive them. So some people might say, because I said it, that's hard to do. That's hard to do in my natural self. But I realized when I asked the Lord to help me to forgive, he daily continue to help me to forgive. Do I want to do it sometimes? No. But if I want to do it God's way, if I want to be pleasing in God's sight, then guess what? I submit to his will and I submit to his way and I do it his way. And that's the beauty of forgiveness. Because now when you're doing it his way, guess what? You got a peace of mind. Guess what? You can sleep at night. Guess what? You can walk. Oh, Jesus. You can walk. You can walk. Oh, Jesus.
Yeah, and you know what's really important about what you're just sharing about that forgiveness, because when you walk in unforgiveness, it actually keeps you in bondage. It actually makes you remember to have something against someone. It actually helps. It makes you remember what was done to you. Repeat the trauma over and over again. And so, audience, you may be saying to yourself, "Oh, she's kind of preaching to us." This is the no, but professionals, when you're at your job, when you're on the job, you're working, and you got to think about the practical application of this, this process, and people go through it. Chef Larkin was just telling you about the haters coming and hating. Here she is, Goldman Sachs. She's over there in New York doing this whole mastermind mental certification, top level leadership development program. She's helping the youth. She's doing this. We all deal with people. Jill Scott, my song, Elaine. Dun, 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 dun. If I could give you the world on a silver platter, would it even matter? You'll still be mad at me. So we know we have the haters, but as people of ourselves, when we deal with ourselves and loving ourselves, as professionals, when you're showing up on the job, as business owners, you must walk in forgiveness, because it's not personal. It's not, if you hold on to it for yourself, you're only limiting yourself. Forgiveness is not just about the individual, it's about setting yourself free. So that chapter is so, so important. Even if you don't want to take the spiritual application of it, take the basic, the principle about it, and apply it to your life. Dr. P, you're up. Then BJ, you're up, and Amina, you're after Miss BJ.
Good evening, everyone. Blessings, blessings. I actually just sat down, and just like Amina said, I said, oh, it's 7 o'clock. It's time for us to talk about the anthology. So praise God that I'm in a place to be able to talk about it. My chapter is on spiritual transparency. And that's a journey. And even as I'm listening to my sisters here on us talking tonight, it has been a journey. It's been about being transparent. And that's what I talk about, that spiritual transparency, not only with ourselves, but with God, especially, so that we can therefore then go and deal with others. So we're on this earth and we're dealing with all types of things. But if we don't start with the internal and we don't start talking with Him about what is going on, whether it is the professional jealousy, whether it is the forgiveness of, past relationships, or dealing with friends or family, if you don't start somewhere, and where you need to start, it is with God, that is the beginning of your liberation, in essence. And this is really special for me today, because tonight I actually did something with a group of people that I had not spent some time with, on purpose. On purpose. And Apostle, you'll appreciate that, because I had to keep asking God, is why won't I spend time with them? What's my problem? Well, a couple things did happen sometime last year. And bottom line is, I could find something else to do. So I went and found something else to do. So guess what else I did? From the time period, because I had to think about this today, from the time period when all of that happened, I have been in an anthology that we have become number one. I've also done some speaking. I've been teaching. I've been reconnecting with family. It's a journey. And with that being said, there was a liberation this evening that I could just go ahead and tell God, Lord, I probably have a problem. Show me what my problem is. And I feel different after spending 2 hours with people, after probably not really communicating with them for about 9 months. So, yeah, Apostle, forgiveness, Chef, just not worrying about the haters, D, making sure people have what they need, because so many people don't know what they need.
Right.
That is really major. And what is the blessing that we get to do is, yes, we get to do prayer, we get to teach, we get to preach, and we get to help those that don't have a voice speak out. And those of us, especially here tonight, I don't know if we've always been people that could communicate. And Marisa, when we get on platforms and you talk about being younger women, being able to speak up for other people, never kind of having a problem. But there's always been those little things that we probably didn't speak up about. But now we know we have to speak up, because there are so many people that right now are saying, wow, I probably couldn't do that. I couldn't get up and talk about different things and that. Yes, you can. Yes, you can. Even if you think you can't, contact us. We're going to show you how to do it.
Yeah, we're gonna
because
show
God
you how
has
to
a
do
voice for you to be able to speak out and deliver. And I wish I could remember which scripture it is. So forgive me right now that I don't. But that is part of one of the scriptures that says about we have to be a voice to the voiceless,
it. Right.
because especially us as women, black women, orange women, purple women, whatever what we are as women,
We need to
we
speak
have
up.
to help each other. And if we don't, who's going to help who? No one. So I'm
Yeah,
excited that we got this done.
I
This
know.
we this world is more blessed because God showed us what to do to make it more blessed, and we're just at the beginning of a journey.
Yeah,
So
to align with your assignment. I always say you
that's
have to
right.
be in
That's
alignment with
right.
your assignment.
That's right. So
Yeah, and it's so important because I hear that a lot. I hear people say to me, Marisa, you can do that, but I can't do that stuff that you do. But you can. It's about a decision. It's about mindset. It's about what you really want to do. And so, Miss BJ Martin, you are in the house, girl.
Greetings, beautiful ones. Greetings. I am so happy to be here with all of my amazing co-authors. You all look so beautiful this evening. Um, I'm going to kind of piggyback on Dr. Nat and Apostle elect Cassandra Rainey because I was just sitting here thinking about talking about your voice. First of all, Marissa, you mentioned something about showing up. I think you were talking to Eileen about that. And I just want to say I show up because I have to show up. Okay. I was one of those young ladies who was bullied, okay, who was molested, who has tried to take her own life. So I have to show up because I'm here. I have to show up because people, other young ladies need to see that you can get through it and you can get through and you can make it. I'm the representation of a lot of women who have gone through a lot of things. And you talk about the voice for the voiceless. Well, I represent that too, and which is why in my chapter it's called Snails and No Shells. That's my show. I am the executive producer, host of the show. That's my brand now. God gave that to me. He gave me that name in a dream. Snails and No Shells. What is this? What is this about? I had no idea. I had no idea what I was going to use it for until like a year later. After that, and I was given that platform. The platform is not just, it's not my platform. It's our platform. Um,
Yes.
I do all the back. I do all the back work. I do a lot of work. People think you just pop up. You just do a podcast and that's it. And you just come up and put your camera on. No, you got to do your research. You got to do homework. I got to get my guests. I got to figure out my topics. What we gonna do? It's a lot of work behind the scenes, but it's not just for me. It's for all of us. It's a platform for the voiceless. Um, and so, yeah, so when y'all talking about using your voice, I'm like, yeah, I have to because I was silenced for a long time. I was a cheerleader for everybody else, but I wasn't cheering for myself,
Right.
and there's nothing wrong with that. Snails and no shells. That's my thing. Leave that shell at the door. Leave it at the door. It's okay to be a slug for a little while, right? We run around here with these shells on, all decorative and muscled and all of this. And in the inside, we're crashing and burning. Crashing and burning. You got to do
Mhm.
that inner work. It's important. I did it. I wouldn't tell you, I'm not going to tell you to do anything that I haven't done. So just a little bit about my chapter, why I'm here, why I show up. I show up for me, I show up for others, and I show up because Marisa shows up. She's always showing up. So in turn, I show up for her, and she shows up for me. And so that's why I'm here. And that's why I am and we are Amazon #1 bestsellers. Woo woo!
Put in it, put a little in it.
And this will be my third anthology. So this is my third #1 Amazon best-selling project. And so I am so excited. And I can't wait to see you all in the DR.
Yes, yes, we are number one. Said we are number one.
Say
We
what?
number one. Said we are number. Put it up there.
Woo, woo.
Yes, we number one. Number
Woo,
one.
woo. I gotta bring my sound machine next time. I
I
gotta
know you do. Where's that? Where's that bullhorn? We need it. We need it.
Yeah, I requested a sound machine on my last live. Somebody said they was gonna get one
I
for me. I
know.
said, well, Thank you.
Listen, you got to take center stage and own it. Your life, your career, your business. You got to own it. And you have to do the introspective work. So you can't show up with a mask. It's just like taking a shower and putting dirty clothes on. No, it ain't going to work. You need to clean, wash the clothes, even if you got to wash them by hand. I don't care. You got some soap up in the house, wash them by hand, let them dry out. But you got to come in authentically yourself. That's what owning is really all about. It's about the good, owning it. Stop running away from it. Stop avoiding it. Stop ducking, weaving, and diving it. Just own it. Take center stage. Taking center stage is getting rooted and grounded, so that when you get up on that red carpet to take your catwalk down the road, down the runway, that you can really chill out and rest in who you are and stop faking it. Because when you're faking it, you got to keep up with all of that. That takes a lot more energy than just owning it and resting in who you are. So why don't we want to take you from that place? So if you look around, you have a variety, a huge diversity of authors. 57 is actually 56, because one of the chapters is a tribute to my mom, because I felt like we needed to know the dynamics between the mother and the daughter. It wasn't always rosy between me and my mom, but it got to that point before she left the earth, because like Apostle Rainey said, I understood the power of forgiveness. My mother understood the power of receiving and asking for forgiveness. So we were able to reconcile our relationship, before she left this earth. And that's what you want to do. And that gives you a peace of mind. So now I don't, in my 50s, I ain't got to be looking back saying, I wish I could have said this to my mama. No, I did. I forgave her. And even if you can't do that, even that time is over and you didn't reconcile, you got to forgive yourself and you got to let go, because you're still here. And God still has need of you. He wants to do some things with you, and he can't do them if you're looking to the left. He said, don't look to the left or the right. He said, stay focused on me, so you don't sink in the water. So you want to leave all of that trash behind. You want to listen. Don't let me start preaching. Amina, are you there, sweetie? Because I see your picture. You there, mommy?
Yes, I'm here.
Ah, she's there. That's the voice I want to hear. How are you?
Oh, well, today I'm not really feeling too well, but I came on to support you.
Oh, you supporting you too, mommy. You supporting
Yeah.
yourself. So share just a little bit. We don't want to stress you out or anything like that. Share just a little bit with the audience about your chapter. What compelled you to want to be with this crazy woman here and do this thing? So share.
Well, my name is Amina. My chapter is called God is Able, because He is able. He able to do anything and abundantly and beyond. Let's give it that. And my chapter is about being sick as a kid, and basically talking to the parents as a sick child. Because sometimes being sick as a child, children don't really speak up. They feel certain ways. They don't know how to talk to mommy when you're sick. They lean on mommy for everything. They lean on your parents for everything. The only thing I had was my mom, so that's why I say my mommy all the time. But it's good to have a fold. It's good to have both parents, but I had only my mom. And I always used to think that I was a burden being sick upon the family. I looked different. I was darker. Um, and I felt like an outcast in the family, even though my mama used to tell me all the time I'm beautiful, no matter if I was sick or not. That still wasn't registrating in my mind, because I was always in the hospital all the time. I was always in the hospital all the time. That was like my second home. 1 minute, I'm in the hospital. 1 minute, I'm in a burn unit. 1 minute, back on dialysis. I'm in surgery. It's a lot as a child to take in when you have so many things going against you at 5 years old. You think that, and then when you think that you're normal, you finally go back to school. They tell you that you can't use the bathroom like the regular kids, so you get teased for that. So you had to go through a lot. But I tell you one thing, what I learned from being sick as a child. I learned that you always got to keep your head up, and you got to always make sure the parents, far as the parents, let them know the consequences. They have to know researches on how to, keep your kid uplifted and everything, because that's important to them. They need to know that they are not the burden because they are sick. They're not the one that's holding them back. You have to get off a job all the time, and because your sickly child is sick, they want to feel love. And sometimes it all goes away, even though your parents might say they love you and everything, but in the inside you feel different because you're different than all your siblings, and you wonder why. Oh, why it's me? Why did I have to carry this burden? you know so that's what my story is, basically talking to the parents so they could get educated on how to treat their child as being sick, and encouraging them along the way, and far as learning about the illness that they have you know so
Mhm.
that's what mine's about.
Oh, that is, and thank you so much, Amina, for coming in. And you're Amina. If you didn't hear her, she's a little under the weather, and so she just wanted to be here to support. And I love it. Thank you so much, Amina. If you want to drop out, by all means, you could feel like you can drop out. We just thank you so much for coming, because that's another thing that when you're thinking about, we are number one bestsellers in the area of professional development. Why are we in the area of professional development? Because professionals are dealing with all of what we just talked about. They're dealing with all of what we just talked about: being molested, being bullied. I was bullied, but you know already, BJ. Woo! They bullied me because I was a new kid on the block. But once I got a hold of them, they learned. You're going to learn today. So sometimes, bullies, when you get ready to mess with the wrong person, you end up getting your butt kicked. Stop doing things like that. And this is another thing about Women's Month. We have to start really organically loving each other. We have to organically love each other, and start embracing each one, everyone's success. The minute I know, for me, jealousy is something that's normal. Some of the things that we go through are that's the normal thing. It's the normal thing that second, but we have a choice. So when something comes into the thought, we see a beautiful woman, automatically like, dad, she is pretty. The second thing we probably do is go, okay, what do I look like? Right? That's natural. That right there, that's natural. That's cool. That's fine. You checking out yourself. You trying to make sure you right and tight, right? But the third thing that happens is, don't you dare allow venom to take root in your heart and start saying, yeah, because she got blah, blah, blah. That's why she look. No, kill that. Kill that. And what you should be doing is immediately complimenting her. You know how you kill that? By a conscious decision. Whether you feel it in your heart or not, by a conscious decision to say, oh my God, girl, you are humming in that. Move. So if you compliment, and you own the compliment, you allow yourself to eat that compliment and start to digest it as positivity, you start killing the negativity, you start killing the jealousy, you kill that. You have to train yourself, retrain yourself to think positive. You have to do that. That has to be a conscious effort, and that's what this book is all about. It's about the practical things, the simple things that we're not doing that are causing us to be sick, that are causing us to be stressed out, to be worried. Like Dee talks about the GoFunds. Why are you doing a GoFund when there's so many insurances out here that you could get for a little bit of a dime that will take care of you later on, that you don't have to have a GoFund meeting? What is that? And why are you driving a Lincoln and you ain't even taking care? Girl, listen, ladies, don't get me started. That's what this book is all about. It's so that you can begin to show up in a healthier way in your life. You can start showing up authentically in your life. And these are the stories Amina shares about. We have children. Our children have ailments. Some of them have physical ailments. Some of them have emotional ailments, and they not may not be emotional to the point of diagnosis, but they're emotional, and they need our support. What Amina's chapter does is really speaks to us to say as parents, we need to really make sure that we're checking in with our children, making sure that they're okay. And so this book, 57 authors, 57 compelling stories, victories, and then 365 days of transformation are powerful. And it's not just about sharing a story, but I charge each author to give you an activity of engagement, educating, equipping, empowering at the end of each chapter. So you have the story, then at the end of the chapter, you have an activity that will help you to overcome. In Amina's chapter, she tells you how to do the research. She goes step by step, telling you how to do the research, where you should be looking to do the research about finding out about your child, your child, and what your child's needs are. And so each chapter, D has a activity for you to understand insurance, having the difficult conversations, having that roundtable discussion. Angela with finances, she has a whole breakdown financial sheet activity for you to get your financial house in order. Tiffany Parrish, she has a whole chapter on transforming your body. You want to get in physical shape. You want to get professionals, people, individuals. We all need to be in shape. We all need help. We all need health insurance. We all need life insurance. We all need to walk in forgiveness. Every chapter of this book and this anthology and every day of transformation, we all need it. We all need it. We don't face challenges once in a lifetime. We face them over and over and over and over and over again. And the key to overcoming is how do we learn from the last episode or trauma? Did we master that? Did we understand it? Did we take the time to do the assessing? Did we do the assessing? Did we do the introspective work? Did we diagnose and look into ourselves to see? Like Apostle said, she had to look in herself and say, where is it? Where do I need to change? BJ said the same thing. Dr. P said the same thing. Eileen said, hey, listen, I got to go to Toastmasters. If you tell me I'm having challenges with communicating, I'm not just going to take the challenge. I'm not just going to listen to what you said. I'm going to do something about it. I'm going to own it. I'm going to take center stage and I'm going to own it and I'm going to improve upon it. And I'm not going to stay in this same place. I'm going to change and transform my life. So it's one book, but it's 365 days of transformation. And we're going to be here April 26th through the 30th. And we're going to be doing the darn thing. We're going to be taking center stage, owning it. We're going to be empowering one another because I don't believe that I'm the know-all. None of us are the know-all. We help each other. This is a community. This is a family, the Own It family. And so we are just going to be pouring into each other like mad crazy. We're going to be energizing one another. We're going to be talking, networking. We're going to be having a funky good time. Some of us are going to be taking some, zip lining. We're going to be zip lining. We're going to be buggy riding. We are just going to have such an incredible time. And we're going to finish this first quarter off of the year off strong. And then we're going to take the rest of the year by storm because we're going to be so empowered, fired up, and ready for battle that the enemy can't do a darn thing to us. Are y'all guys ready? Woo! I'm ready.
Yes, we ready.
So we
Yeah.
got to show them one more time where they're going to be. We're going to be right here in the Dominican Republic. Emotions Resort is it's a nice size resort, but it is petite in its own right. So we are, it's going to be nice. It's going to be intimate. We're going to be on the beach, off the beach, in the pool, on the platform with the mics in our hands, singing like rock stars, partying like movie stars. We're going to just have so much fun. So if you're interested in joining us, it's not too late. tcsconsultingllc.com. Just go to the website, register, get yourself there. And we would love to have you. If you think we have a lot of energy here, just wait till you get here. Just wait till you get here. We're going to have so much fun. Ladies, and this book is not only women. So tonight you see a bunch of women, but it's not women. We got a few men in this anthology, and we love them. And we thank them for that. But ladies, thank you so much for taking time out of your Sunday to be with me, to enlighten our audience and let them know what we've been up to all year long. So we are Amazon #1 bestsellers. It's Your Life, Own It Unapologetically. We are out.